What's going on YouTube? B Wood here, bringing you some Star Wars Battlefront gameplay. Today in this video we're going to talk about if Star Wars Battlefront is worth it. When I say worth it, I mean is it worth $60? And this is $60 of your money that you want to put into a game that you want to last a good amount of time, especially because it's throwing words like Star Wars and Battlefront put together, where I know for a fact for me is a big chunk of what first third-person Star Wars gameplay is like. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the gameplay, the actual mechanics. First thing I want to say is that this game runs fantastic. I have a Intel Core i5-4670K and a R9 380, both decently overclocked, and this game runs 1080p absolutely flawlessly. This has a lot of credit to the Frostbite 3 engine that DICE has created. Absolutely gorgeous. The settings and just the pure look of the game really does bring life into the next generation of what games are going to be playing as. The graphics are fantastic, like I said. There's nothing in this game that's broken, I would say. Games like recently Fallout, which don't get me wrong, love the game, but the amount of bugs that came out with it and just hiccups in a released game, I think, are unacceptable. And Star Wars Battlefront, they really did a great job of releasing a fully built, just perfectly running game. I don't have any reports or any experience of any bugs. Alright, next, Star Wars. So this game throws two big words at your face: Star Wars Battlefront. And if any of you guys are like me, you guys all played the original Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, which were some of the most fantastic games in general for some original consoles or even PC. People got it on the PC as well. I had it on an original Xbox, and the amount of hours that I put in that game, the split screen content, it changed the way we think of the Star Wars battles. A lot of the games that were around that era were also Star Wars games, were like Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, very RPG strategic. There was content from the movies that you could relate to, but it was more of the books, the history, and the worldview of Star Wars. But in Battlefront, it was all about you being a stormtrooper, you being a rebel, and going out and being the grunt of the battle. So this game really, I feel like it captures that. I feel like it captures the Star Wars Battlefront-esque of what it has meant to be. Now granted, it is new. It's 2015. It's been eight years, I think, since Battlefront 2 came out for the original Xbox. Things have definitely changed. It's by DICE. If you ever played Battlefield, any of the Battlefield games, it takes everything good about the mechanics of those games and just throws Star Wars right at your face and your ears. And it does it in such a great way. It feels like you're playing a Star Wars game, which is where I think really makes this game shine. It looks like Star Wars, it plays like Star Wars, and it sounds like Star Wars. The developers and the creators really, really tried to get this to be as original to Star Wars as they could. Now, when they were first developing this game, they went to the model sets, they went to the places where they shot Star Wars, and they had artists, and they designed and took pictures and did everything. And that's where I think they really just knocked it out of the park. Made this game feel, look, and be Star Wars. I myself am a huge Star Wars fan. It really changed the game as a fan. Now, I also think this is a bad thing because DICE knew, EA knew the fan base behind Star Wars was not something to mess with, and that they were taking a risk into their hands to really make a name for Star Wars, and that if they messed up, what could have happened, especially to the movie coming out, what could have happened to Star Wars. Like I said, when it comes to Star Wars, the gameplay is fantastic. Everything works. The game is not broken. It feels like Star Wars. It is Star Wars, and it is Star Wars Battlefront. But the biggest but in this game would just be the sheer lack of content. When I say the sheer lack of content, I literally mean the only things you can do in this game are play on multiplayer and do a survival mission. Sadly reminds me of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's survival missions. I feel like in Star Wars Battlefront and in Star Wars Battlefront 2, one of the funnest things was you had galactic missions, where you hopped planet to planet and maybe you faced your friend split screen and you just did battle modes, and I really think they could have done something really cool with that. If they took just, if it was a multiplayer, like what I mean is like galactic conquest, where you actually moved planet to planet strategically and you had upgrades for certain, whatever, just like Battlefront 2. I really can't believe they left that out. DICE is out there trying to make money, and obviously they wanted us to buy the $50 premium map pack like they did with every other Battlefield that they've made. They basically release half the game and they say, okay, you could buy the other half when we release it later, and I think that's wrong in the sense that the game could have been fuller at the time. $60 is a lot of money, alright? And especially when you throw a name like Star Wars Battlefront behind it and you don't have just the balls behind it as well. Biggest gripe about this game is the sheer lack of content. Now, I'm not saying that this game only has 5 hours of gameplay in it. Obviously not. I have put 20 plus hours into the game and I've actually liked every single bit of it. But there are 4 worlds, 5 now because of Jakku, which was released recently. 5 worlds, and each world has its own set of maps for each different type of gameplay. 4 Planets is laughing at the buyer's face and saying, we're gonna have DLC, just buy a $120 game so you could get all of it, but not right now because it releases later on. That's where I really think DICE messed up, and that why people don't want to buy this game for full price, because it's just not all there. Alright, that was just my take on Star Wars Battlefront. Hope you guys liked it. Like, dislike, subscribe, whatever you want to do. This is just one of the games. I'm going to do a Fallout 4. Is it worth it? You guys are going to like that one a lot. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.